Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is Warren with unashamedofjesus.org, bringing you a new video today. And so, if you are a collapsing church denomination because of your wokeness, your liberalism, what do you do? Well, if you're the United Methodist Church, if you're the corrupted bishops, you give yourself a raise, right? So here's an article, and this article is from the United Methodist's own website. I will put a link to the article description in the video, umcnews.org. So let's take a look at this article quick. I'll bring it up. The bishops give a 3% pay hike. Okay. Now, you need to understand is that with the total collapse of the UMC, they went to like a 50% budget cut, okay, because they had no money. But these corrupted leaders decide, well, they're going to pay themselves more money, even though the churches don't have it. So I like to just show you this is it says right here in the article, this is in an highly unusual move. Okay, even the even the UMC's own website points out that this is a highly unusual move, that the bishops give themselves a raise, uh, to give the denomination's bishops a 3% salary increase. Okay, they voted during your online. So for those of you who are in the UMC paying your tithes, well, this is where your tithe money goes to. Not only does it go to wokeness and social justice agendas, and goes to funding, uh, Hamas and all other kinds of things, and killing babies, but also now you're giving these corrupted bishops a raise. So congratulations. Bishops' salaries vary by region. Bishops will each make, now check this out, $186,000. Okay, this is the average salary, it's saying. In Africa, the Philippines, bishops will make $91,555. That's a lot of money, even in America. But to be making that in the Philippines and Africa, making those six figures, that's a lot of money. That this shows you why corruption happens very easily. Okay. The European salary ranges from 69,000 to $144,768. The overall additional cost of the salary increases to $270,000 of the 53 active bishops. So it's like $250,000 that's going to be added now, more taking out of your tithe money. And so we see here, stay informed, and the industrial projected a 3% workers. And so this is part of the problem here is they're trying to justify their salary increase by using a human resource manager pay scale. Okay. Well, I hate to tell them though that they are bishops of the church. Okay. You don't treat clergy positions as careers. And this is part of the problem with the church. This is part of the problem with the UMC. This is part of the problem with most churches is that they try to operate like a business. And so they're going to, even though the UMC church, they're bleeding money, they are going to justify even more money because they're going to go by a human resource chart for actual careers, salaries. All right. This is not a career. This is a calling. All right. If you don't consider, being a bishop or a pastor a higher calling, then there's your problem right there. That's part of your problem, right? Bishops, as well as the staffs and denominations, are experiencing a 12% increase in health premiums this year. So I'm not sure if that means they're paying more money for their health insurance, which everybody in the world is. Um, the board's decision came across the UMC as adjusting the smaller budgets after disaffiliation. And this is the problem here. And it even mentions in their own article the UMC, by their own admission, is collapsing. After disaffiliation, about a quarter of the UMC US churches historical low budget of between $353 million and $373 million, which is a 40% reduction. Okay. So I find it interesting that they consider 350 million or more money is supposed to be low, but the UMC decreased their budget by 40% because of their collapse, but yet now they're going to give raises to their bishops. No one sees the corruption here. No one is seeing this. The hope in the decrease in the new budget will relieve the financial burdens on the annual conferences. So we're hoping to they're hoping to relieve the financial burdens, but then they go and give all the bishops a 3% raise. So this is just more exposing the corruption and wickedness of the United Methodist cult. Let me know what you think in the comments section, and keep praying for these people. Keep praying that people would come to the light, would understand that they are in a wicked organization, and this is not honoring to God whatsoever. Okay, think about Cain and Abel. Okay, they both offered sacrifices to God, but one was rejected and one was pleasing. Okay, just because you go to church every Sunday and you worship doesn't mean it's pleasing to God. God is rejecting this sacrifice, this offering, this worship because it is an abomination. Right? So think about that. For more content, check out my website, unashamedofjesus.org. Please continue to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, expose the darkness. God bless.